Welcome, everybody, to the August TDL Member Forum. My name is Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Digital Library. As we gather in this shared virtual space, we'll start, as we always do, by acknowledging the physical places from which we're joining, all of them located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, the ancestral name for what is now called North America. I'm joining from Austin, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their forcible removal. And I invite all of you to share your own land acknowledgements in chat if you would like to. We'll follow our usual agenda, and I'm joined today by our Deputy Director, Courtney Muma, in giving service and project updates, and by Kira Hunt in providing our community updates. And we have several other TDL staff represented in the forum here today, so welcome to all of them. All right. Starting with director's updates, I just want to start with a reminder that Open Access Week is coming up in a couple of months. It will be held during the week of October 20th through the 26th, and the week is entering its 18th year this year, if you can believe it. This year's theme is Who Owns Our Knowledge? And I'm going to quote from the OA Week website here. It asks a pointed question about the present moment and how, in a time of disruption, communities can reassert control over the knowledge that we produce. It also challenges us to reflect on not only who has access to education and research, but on how knowledge is created and shared, where it has come from, and whose voices are recognized and valued. We encourage you to share with us any OA Week plans that you have with your institution, so that we can share those with the broader TDL community, whether it's a webinar, workshop, or another way that your institution is celebrating and promoting open access. Please submit your event using the form that we're going to put a link to in chat. And we'll promote those initiatives in our upcoming fall newsletter and on the TDL blog. And I'll just say we definitely want to hear about those events that are kind of public facing that others can attend outside your institution so that we can promote those. But we'd also love to hear about internal initiatives and events that you're doing, because we would love to be able to show the kind of collective impact that all of our membership are having during Open Access Week. We are also at TDL planning some virtual programming during or around that week to promote open access. But we don't have all the details ready to share yet. So stay tuned for more details on that, hopefully very soon. All right. With that, we'll move into our services and projects updates, starting with digital repositories. We have DSpace 8.2 upgrades tentatively scheduled for fall, likely in the September-October timeframe. We will be reaching out about more definite scheduling of those upgrades in early September. They should not be too disruptive, but they will include some bug fixes and improvements that I think our community will find very welcome. So we're going to go ahead and do this interim upgrade in the fall so we can get those out to you. We also have a call for volunteers open for a DSpace accessibility working group to develop guidelines for addressing the accessibility of content in institutional DSpace repositories for users with disabilities. This work is intended to provide a kind of collective plan of action for getting repository content into compliance with the ADA, the final ADA Title II rule. So if you are interested in participating on that working group, please let me know. I'll be putting out a formal call on the DSpace users group email list this week, and you can respond to that or just contact me directly. Moving on to our open access journal hosting service. Nick Woodward, our senior software engineer, is continuing work to upgrade all of our hosted journals to a new version of OJS. We are well more than halfway through that project and should be finishing up in the next couple of weeks. This is a very minor version upgrade, but it does include a migration to a new operating system. And we have more detail available about that process and the schedule for upgrades in the links that we'll share in chat. I also note on here our OJS Accessibility Working Group, which has a few things to share as of this week. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. We are hosting, the OJS Accessibility Working Group is hosting a webinar in September called OJS Accessibility for Journal Managers and Editors. And as you might guess from the title, this webinar is primarily intended for managers and editors of our hosted OJS journals, but it's open to all. And so if you're interested in learning more about improving accessibility in library publishing, in OJS, or just in general, I invite you to register to attend. We're going to put a link to the event page on our website to that webinar so you can register. We have also published an OJS accessibility toolkit that is in our wiki and available for journal managers and editors to use to start improving the accessibility of articles and other published content on their websites. We'll put a link to that in chat as well. Big thank you to the members of the OJS Accessibility Working Group for these resources. That group includes Mark Baggett from Texas A&M Libraries, Susan Hoover from the University of Houston, Michelle McCrary from Sam Houston State, and Alexa Height from Texas State University. So they've done a great job pulling all of this work together. It's a big effort. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Courtney to continue our updates.
Thank you, Christy. Today, I just have an update for our Vireo hosted members. Lead developer Frank Smutniak is in the midst of upgrades to Vireo 4.3.1 with essential infrastructure changes. In fact, as Christy mentioned with OJS, the particular infrastructure of note is the new operating system. Those upgrades should all be complete by the end of next week, so we are in the final stretch. And next, our outreach coordinator, Kiara Hunt, will be sharing some community updates with us.
Thanks, Courtney. Hello, everyone. So I'm happy to share some upcoming community updates. First, a friendly reminder that TCDL 2026 will take place June 2nd through 4th, 2026, and applications for the planning committee close this Friday, August 22nd. So some of the benefits of being a committee member include you can expand your professional network by collaborating with colleagues across the TDL consortium. You can gain valuable experience in conference planning, program development, and community engagement. You can make a meaningful impact on the future of digital libraries and scholarship in Texas. And if you've been considering this valuable opportunity, please submit your application soon. Again, they close this Friday. And also feel free to share with your colleagues at your institution who you think might be interested. So we'll share the link in the chat so you can learn more about the call for committee members. Okay, next, a reminder of an exciting upcoming event from Baylor University, the Texas Digital Humanities Symposium. This virtual event hosted via Zoom will take place September 9th through 11th, 2025. Each day will run from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. CST and 1:30 p.m. through 4 p.m. CST. It's a fantastic opportunity to explore the intersection of the humanities with data and computing technologies, engage with the digital humanities research community, and learn how to integrate these practices into teaching and research. The symposium is free and open to anyone, and registration is required. You can find out more details about registration and the symposium using the link in the chat. Next, we also wanted to share details about the National Digital Stewardship Alliance, NDSA, the Digital Preservation Conference that's coming up soon. It's going to be virtually happening October 9th through 10th, and registration is now open. This year's theme, Where We're At, Digital Preservation in Uncertain Times, focuses on how our community can continue digital preservation work amidst instability. And you can register and find those details in the chat so you can learn more about the event. Next, we also want to highlight the Open Education Conference, which is a major event for open educational resources, open pedagogy, and open education initiatives. It will be held October 28th through 30th, 2025 as a hybrid event, both in Denver, Colorado, and online. This year's theme is Eyes on the Horizon, which focuses on building a more accessible, affordable, and inclusive education system. And the early bird registration deadline is approaching soon on August 29th. So you can register soon to secure the lower rates. And we'll have more details about the event in chat. Here are some of our upcoming meetings and events happening at TDL. These meetings and events are free and open to anyone, and you're always welcome to invite your campus partners and non-TDL member colleagues in your network to join us. So some of the meetings that are happening this month is on Friday, August 22nd at 2 p.m. We have the GIS interest group meeting. On Monday, August 25th at 3 p.m., we have the DSpace users group meeting. And then moving over to September, on Thursday, September 4th at 10 a.m., we have the OJS user group meeting. On Wednesday, September 10th at 3 p.m., we have the OER users group meeting. And on Thursday, September 11th at 3 p.m., we have the Open Knowledge Access Interest Group meeting. And you can check out all of our upcoming events and the September What's Happening in the links in chat. Next, you can check out the latest TDL announcements for upcoming meetings, events, and programs on our social media channels, our bi-monthly email newsletter, and announcements listserv. And we'll share the links to all of our social media handles, which are on our Get Involved page in the chat. And just to continue on from amplifying and sharing your events, we want to hear from you all. So if you have any news, announcements, project updates, any content that you want to share on our TDL platforms, you can share your ideas at info@tdl.org. And that's all for our community updates. And I'll hand things back over to Christy. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Kiara. Thanks, Courtney, for those updates. We have time. We were short and sweet. We were very efficient with our updates today. So we have time for questions if anybody has any. I'll just take the opportunity to remind you about the TDL suggestion box and invite you to submit questions or feedback anonymously through that feedback form if you'd like to. Even if you'd like it to be something that's addressed publicly in the forum, we can take the questions that way. You're also welcome to contact me or Courtney or Kiara directly, after the forum if you have anything that we can help with. All right. I'm not seeing anything in chat or any hands raised, so we will go ahead and leave it there for this month. I wish all of you a really wonderful start to the semester, and looking forward to working with you in the coming academic year. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.